My head's killing me. What the hell is that?
Nothing says trust like finding handcuffs in your wife's purse at 2 a.m. I wasn't snooping, not really. Just looking for Tylenol because my head was pounding like a jackhammer after 12 hours of drywall work on the Morrison job. Lena's purse sat on the kitchen counter right where she'd dropped it when she stumbled in from her girls' night an hour ago. She'd kissed my cheek, breath reeking of wine and something else, something sweeter, and mumbled about Tina being such a mess before disappearing upstairs. My hand found the bottle of pills, but it also found cold metal. Chrome handcuffs, professional grade, not the fuzzy novelty kind you'd buy as a gag gift. These had weight, purpose. A tiny key dangled from the chain. I stood there in my kitchen, holding handcuffs that definitely weren't mine, in a purse belonging to a wife who'd been coming home later and later from work trips and team-building exercises. The fluorescent light buzzed overhead. Outside, rain hammered against the windows of our fixer-upper in this dying New England town that time forgot. My name's Ed Turner, 46 years old, general contractor, former wild child turned respectable husband. I fix things for a living. Broken pipes, cracked foundations, rotting porches. I'm good at seeing structural problems before they collapse. Should have applied that skill to my marriage. I pocketed the key, left the handcuffs. Call it insurance. Call it instinct. Call it the first move in a game I didn't know I was playing yet. The next morning, Lena was already dressed for work when I came downstairs. She wore her power suit, the navy one that meant important meetings, and her hair was pulled back so tight it looked painful. She was 42, but could pass for younger when she tried. HR manager at Tech Vista, the startup that moved into the old mill building 5 years ago, bringing jobs and pretension to our blue-collar town in equal measure. Coffee? I asked, pouring myself a mug. Already had some. Running late? She grabbed her purse, checked her phone, checked it again. Nervous energy radiated off her like heat from asphalt. How was Tina last night? What? Her eyes snapped to mine. Too fast, too sharp. You said Tina was a mess. Everything okay? Oh, yeah. Man trouble. You know how she gets. Lena's laugh sounded like breaking glass. Listen, I've got that conference in Portland next week. 3 days. I'll need you to handle the house stuff. Another conference? It's important for my career, Ed. Some of us are still climbing. The edge in her voice could cut steel. She'd been throwing that line at me for months. The implication that I'd peaked, that my dirty hands and honest work were somehow less than her corporate ladder. She left without kissing me goodbye. I waited 10 minutes, then checked her office. She kept it locked, but I'd installed the door. I had a key. Inside, everything looked normal. Desk, computer, filing cabinet, motivational posters about synergy and disruption. But her laptop was gone. She'd taken it with her, which she never did. Always complained about the weight, always left it on the desk. I found the burner phone in her car. Old man Sykes was washing his Buick across the street when I walked out to Lena's sedan. He was 70-something, Vietnam vet, saw everything, said little. He nodded at me. I nodded back. Small-town choreography. The burner was in the glove box under the registration papers. Cheap flip phone, the kind you buy with cash at a convenience store. I powered it on. No password. Dozens of texts from a contact labeled M. Can't wait for next week. 3 days, just us. Bring the handcuffs. I'll bring the wine. Your husband really doesn't know. Ed? He's clueless. Too busy with his little projects. I sat in her car, rain starting to fall again, reading texts that described things my wife had done with someone else. Things we hadn't done in years. The messages were explicit, detailed, enthusiastic. They talked about hotels, positions, fantasies. They laughed about me. My hands didn't shake. That surprised me. I felt cold, clinical, like I was reading someone else's story. But underneath, something ancient and ugly stirred. Not rage, not yet, something smarter, more patient. I photographed every message, sent them to my own phone, put everything back exactly as I'd found it, locked the car. Sykes was still washing his Buick, but he wasn't looking at the car anymore. He was looking at me. Our eyes met. He gave a slight nod, the kind that said, I know something's wrong without saying anything at all. Then he went back to his washing. Rich Donnelly had been my best friend since high school. We'd raised hell together, sobered up together, and now we occasionally got drunk together at Murphy's Bar on Friday nights. He was a plumber married to Gina, who had the social awareness of a CIA analyst and the discretion of a priest. If anyone knew what was happening in this town, it was Gina. I called them both that night, told them to come over after Lena left for her conference. Jesus, Ed, Rich said when I showed them the texts. We sat in my basement workshop, surrounded by tools and sawdust. How long you think this has been going on? Months, maybe. I pulled up my phone's photo gallery. I've been tracking her locations through the family phone plan. She's been going to the same address downtown every Tuesday and Thursday night. Not Tina's place. Not the gym. Gina leaned forward, her sharp eyes scanning the screen. That's the Riverside condos. Expensive. Who's M? That's what I need to find out. You could just ask her, Rich offered. Confront her straight up. And she'll deny it, gaslight me, make me feel crazy. Or she'll admit it, and we'll have a big dramatic scene. Lawyers get involved, and I'll lose half of everything I've built. I shook my head. No, I need leverage first. Information. Evidence she can't deny. Gina studied me with an expression I couldn't quite read. You're planning something? I'm planning to not be the fool everyone's laughing at. Ed, revenge is... I'm not talking about revenge. I'm talking about justice. There's a difference. I stood, paced the workshop. She's been lying to me for months, using our money for hotels, making me look like an idiot to her friends and this guy, whoever he is. I just want to level the playing field. Rich and Gina exchanged a look. That married couple telepathy thing. What do you need? Gina asked. Information. Who is he? Where does he work? Is he married? I need to know what I'm dealing with. Gina pulled out her phone. Give me the address. It took her 45 minutes and 3 phone calls to her network of friends, hairdressers, and real estate agents. The answer came back clean and brutal. Miles Gannon, 38, works at Tech Vista with Lena, sales director, divorced 2 years ago, drives a black Audi, lives in Unit 412 at Riverside. Gina looked up from her phone. And Ed, everyone knows. Tina's been talking about it at the salon. Half the town knows your wife is sleeping with her coworker. The cold feeling in my chest spread. Everyone knows. I'm sorry. Gina's voice was soft. I thought you knew. I thought that's why you were asking. Rich put a hand on my shoulder. What are you going to do? I thought about the handcuff key in my pocket, about the burner phone, about Lena's nervous energy and late nights, about being called clueless in text messages that strangers were probably reading at the hair salon. I'm going to make sure they regret it. The next Tuesday, I followed her. Lena left the house at 7, supposedly for a late meeting. I waited 5 minutes, then took my truck downtown, parked across from Riverside condos, watched. She arrived at 7:30, parked in the visitor spot, checked her makeup in the mirror. She'd changed clothes since leaving home, the conservative work outfit replaced by something tighter, newer, something I'd never seen before. She walked into the building like she owned it, confident, excited. I waited. At 11, she came back out. Hair messed up, lipstick gone, smiling at her phone. She didn't notice my truck in the shadows across the street. Didn't notice old man Sykes sitting on the bench near the entrance. Feeding pigeons at 11 at night like that was a normal thing to do. But I noticed Sykes, and he noticed me. He stood slowly, walked past my truck, and dropped something on my hood, a piece of paper. Unit 412. Black Audi in spot 28 leaves around 6 a.m. Wednesdays and Fridays. I looked up, but he was already shuffling away, hands in his pockets. Just another old man out too late. Wednesday morning, I was parked at Riverside at 5:30. The Audi left at 6:15. I followed it to a gym, then to a coffee shop, then to Tech Vista. Miles Gannon was tall, fit, had that sales guy smile that probably closed deals and opened legs with equal efficiency. He wore expensive suits and walked like someone who'd never been punched in the face. That could be arranged, but not yet. I needed more. I needed them to feel safe, comfortable, arrogant. I needed them to make mistakes. I spent the next week preparing, installed a voice-activated recorder in Lena's car hidden in the visor, cloned her burner phone using software Rich found on some sketchy forum, set up a fake social media account and friend-requested Tina, who accepted immediately because she accepted everyone. Tina's posts were a goldmine. Photos from girls' nights that Lena wasn't in, check-ins at restaurants on nights Lena claimed to be there, and comments, dozens of comments, where Tina and her friends discussed Elle's new man and the hot sales guy and poor Ed, he has no idea. They were right. Poor Ed had no idea. But Ed was learning fast. The conference was in Portland, 3 hours north. Lena left on Sunday afternoon, kissing my cheek with the same perfunctory affection you'd give a dog. I'll call you when I get there. Love you. Love you too, I lied. I gave her a 2-hour head start, then checked the tracker I'd stuck under her car's bumper. She wasn't going north to Portland. She was going east, toward the coast, toward the Ocean View Resort, a boutique hotel that definitely wasn't hosting any HR conferences. The recorder in her visor picked up everything. Her phone call to Miles. He bought it completely. 3 days, baby, just you and me and that king-size bed you promised. Miles's laugh. Did you bring the handcuffs? Of course. Although we might need the key this time. Last time was fun, but my wrists were sore for days. That's because you struggle so pretty. They laughed together, at me, at my stupidity, at how easy it was to fool the dumb contractor. I sat in my truck in my driveway, listening to my wife plan 3 days of sex with another man, and felt something break inside me. Not my heart. That had cracked weeks ago. This was different. This was the last piece of respect I'd had for her, the last shred of benefit of doubt shattering like dropped glass. Rich called. You okay, man? I'm perfect. Listen, I need a favor. The handcuff key was the easy part. I'd already swapped it with a similar-looking key that fit nothing. The real key was in my workshop, hanging on my keychain, waiting. The hard part was getting into Miles's condo. That's where Gina came in. Turned out her cousin worked maintenance at Riverside. For $200 and a promise to fix his kitchen sink, he gave me a maintenance uniform and a pass key. 1 hour, Ed, that's it. And if anyone asks, I never saw you. Unit 412 was exactly what I expected. Modern, sterile, expensive, black leather furniture, stainless steel everything. Photos of Miles looking successful at various corporate events. No photos of family, friends, or anything suggesting human connection. I planted 3 voice recorders, 1 under the bed, 1 in the living room behind a plant, 1 in the bathroom inside the toilet tank. Then I went through his stuff. His laptop was password protected, but his filing cabinet wasn't. Inside, I found his life. Tax returns, bank statements, employment contracts. Also, evidence of other affairs. Emails printed out, probably for his divorce proceedings. Photos of women who weren't his ex-wife. Hotel receipts going back years. Miles Gannon was a serial cheater. Lena wasn't special. She was just current. I photographed everything, put it all back. Left the condo exactly as I'd found it. That night, I sat in my empty house and listened to the recordings from the Ocean View Resort. The recorder in Lena's purse picked up everything. Check-in. Champagne in the room. Laughter. Then sounds I didn't need to hear but listened to anyway, because I needed the anger. Needed the fuel. Between sessions, they talked. Does Ed really not suspect anything? Miles asked. Ed? Please. He's too busy with his little construction projects. I swear he's more interested in fixing other people's houses than his own marriage. You could just divorce him. And give up half of everything? No thanks. This way I get stability and excitement. Best of both worlds. You're evil. I love it. You're not so innocent yourself. How many women are you seeing right now? Just you, baby, just you. Lena laughed. Liar. I saw the text from Jennifer on your phone last week. That's different. That's just casual. You're special. More laughter, more sounds I didn't need to hear. I turned off the recording and sat in the dark. The rain had started again, hammering the roof like it was trying to break through. This town got rain like other places got sunshine. Constant, depressing, wearing everything down slowly. My phone buzzed. Gina. Tina just posted photos from Girls' Weekend in Portland. Except Lena's not in any of them. People are commenting, asking where she is. Tina's making excuses. Let her, I typed back. Let them all talk. I want everyone to know. Ed, what are you planning? Justice. They came back Tuesday night, separately. Miles first, then Lena 2 hours later, maintaining the illusion. She walked in with her suitcase and conference bag, smiling, relaxed. How was Portland? I asked from the couch. Exhausting, so many presentations, but good, really good for networking. She kissed the top of my head. I missed you. Did you? Something in my tone made her pause. Of course, why wouldn't I? No reason. Just seems like you've been distant lately. Distracted. It's just work stress. You know how it is. She headed for the stairs. I'm going to shower and crash. Long drive. Hey, Lena? She turned. Did you know everyone's talking about you? Her face went pale. What? Tina posted photos from Portland. You're not in any of them. People are asking questions in the comments, wondering where you really were. I watched her process this. Watched her calculate responses, measure risks, decide on a strategy. Finally, she laughed, forced, brittle. That's because I skipped the tourist stuff. I was actually working, unlike Tina. You know how she is. Everything's a photo op. Right, of course, that makes sense. She studied me, trying to figure out if I knew more than I was saying. But I kept my face neutral, confused, slightly concerned. The dumb husband, worried about gossip. People in this town need to mind their own business, she said finally, then went upstairs. I waited until I heard the shower running. Then I went to her purse, found the burner phone, and checked the messages. Ed's acting weird. Did you talk to anyone? No, relax. He doesn't know anything. Probably just paranoid about small-town gossip. We need to be more careful. Or we need to stop caring what people think. I'm tired of sneaking around. Soon, baby. Soon. I put the phone back, went to my workshop, pulled out the handcuff key, and held it up to the light. Soon, indeed. Murphy's Bar was the kind of place where everyone knew your name and your business. Dark wood, dim lights, sports on TV, and beer so cold it hurt your teeth. Rich and I sat in our usual booth, nursing Budweisers and pretending to watch the Red Sox lose to the Yankees. So when are you going to make your move? Rich asked. Soon. I'm waiting for the right moment. What's the right moment? When they feel safest, when they think they've gotten away with it. The door opened. Miles Gannon walked in with two guys in suits, all of them loud and confident, fresh from some business victory. They took seats at the bar, ordered top-shelf whiskey, and talked too loud about deals and commissions and conquest. That him? Rich asked. That's him. We watched Miles hold court, buying rounds, telling stories that made his friends laugh. He had that salesman charisma, that easy charm that probably worked on clients and women alike. But underneath, I could see the calculation. Every gesture, every laugh, every word was designed to manipulate, to position, to win. Want me to go over there? Rich offered. Accidentally spill my beer on him? No, not yet, but soon. Miles noticed me watching. Our eyes met. He didn't know who I was, but he could sense the attention. He whispered something to his friends, and they all looked over. One of them laughed. I raised my beer in a mock toast. Miles frowned, confused, then turned back to his conversation. You're playing with fire, Rich warned. Fire's the only thing that eliminates infection. The next Thursday, I followed Lena to Riverside again. But this time, I brought company. Gina had accidentally run into Miles's ex-wife at the grocery store and mentioned, casually, that Miles seemed to be dating someone new. Someone married. The ex-wife, still bitter from her own divorce, was very interested in this information. Her name was Patricia. She was 40, attractive, angry, and very much interested in making Miles's life difficult. Turned out he'd cheated on her too, repeatedly, and she'd gotten a bad deal in the divorce because she couldn't prove it. I can prove it now, she said when we met at a coffee shop. If you help me. What do you want? Photos? Evidence? Something I can use to reopen the divorce settlement. He hid assets. I know he did, but I need leverage. I can get you evidence, but I need something too. What? I need you to confront them, both of them, together, in public. I need witnesses. Patricia smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. When? The town's annual Founders Festival was coming up that weekend. Food trucks, local bands, craft vendors, and half the town showing up to pretend we were still a thriving community instead of a dying mill town with delusions of grandeur. Lena loved it. The social aspect, the networking, the chance to be seen. She'd already mentioned going with Tina and some work friends. I had other plans. Friday afternoon, I got a call from the recorder in Miles's condo. They were there, together. I could hear everything. We need to talk about Ed, Lena said. What about him? He's getting suspicious, asking questions. I think he might know something. So? What's he going to do? He's a contractor. You're the one with the career, the income, the connections. If it comes to divorce, you'll destroy him. I don't want a divorce. I want both. I want stability and excitement. Then stop worrying about what Ed thinks. He's not going anywhere. Guys like him never leave. They just suffer quietly and drink themselves to passing. They laughed. Then the sounds I'd learned to expect. The sounds that used to make me angry but now just made me cold. Except this time, something went wrong. Miles, the handcuffs are stuck. What? The key's not working? Try it. Fumbling, cursing, more fumbling. This isn't the right key. What do you mean? It's the key that was on the chain. Well, it's not working. Lena, you're really stuck. Panic in her voice. Miles, get me out of these. I'm trying. I sat in my truck across the street, listening to them panic, and smiled for the first time in weeks. My phone buzzed. Patricia, I'm here, parking garage. Ready when you are. I texted back the unit number and the code to get into the building. Then I called the front desk, disguising my voice, and reported a domestic disturbance in Unit 412. Then I waited. Patricia went in first. I heard her through the recorder, pounding on the door, shouting Miles's name. Inside, chaos. Lena screaming. Miles trying to hide her, find clothes, find the key that didn't work. Patricia had a key. She'd kept it from the marriage. She walked in on them. Lena handcuffed to the bed, without clothes, panicked. Miles scrambling, pathetic. Patricia took photos, lots of photos. You fool, she said calm and cold. You absolute fool. Patricia, this isn't... Shut up, Miles, just shut up. She turned to Lena. And you must be the married one. Hi, I'm the ex-wife. Pleasure to meet you. Please, Lena begged. Please don't. Don't what? Don't tell anyone? Don't share these photos? Don't ruin your life the way you helped ruin my marriage? Patricia laughed. Oh, honey, this is just the beginning. Building security arrived. Then, because someone had mentioned a disturbance, a police officer. Not Detective Landry. Just a young cop doing his job, walking into a situation that was going to be the talk of the station for months. I drove home, poured myself a whiskey, listened to the recordings of security trying to find bolt cutters, Lena crying, Miles trying to explain, Patricia enjoying every second of their humiliation. The handcuff key was still in my pocket. I'd give it to them eventually, but not yet. Let them suffer, let them panic. Let them feel what it's like to be trapped with no way out. My phone rang. Lena. I didn't answer. She called again, then texts. Ed, I need help. Please, something happened. Please answer. I turned off my phone and finished my whiskey. Outside, the rain had stopped. Stars were visible for the first time in days. The town looked almost peaceful in the darkness, all its decay and desperation hidden by shadows. Tomorrow was the festival. Tomorrow, everyone would know. Tomorrow, the real revenge would begin. Lena came home at 3 a.m. I pretended to be asleep, listening to her creep into the house, crying softly. She didn't come to the bedroom. I heard her in the guest room, then silence. In the morning, she was gone before I woke up. A note on the counter, staying at Tina's for a few days, need space. Space. That was rich. My phone had 47 missed calls and 32 texts, most from Lena. A few from numbers I didn't recognize, one from Rich. Dude, everyone's talking. What the hell happened? I called him back. Meet me at the festival noon. Bring Gina. The Founders Festival was in full swing by the time I arrived. Main Street was blocked off, filled with vendors and families and the smell of fried dough and barbecue. A local band played covers on the makeshift stage. Kids ran around with cotton candy. Old people sat on benches, watching, judging. I found Rich and Gina near the beer garden. They looked at me like I'd grown a second head. Everyone knows, Gina said. Everyone. Tina's been trying to control the story, but Patricia posted the photos on Facebook. Not the explicit ones, but enough. Lena handcuffed to a bed in Miles' apartment. The whole town's seen them. Good, I said. Good? Ed, this is nuclear. Lena's career is over. Tech Vista's HR manager caught in an affair with a sales director. They're both getting fired. Even better! Rich grabbed my arm. Man, I know you're angry, but this is justice. This is justice. I pulled away. She humiliated me for months, made me look like a fool, laughed about it with him. Now she gets to feel what that's like. Ed, I'm not done yet. I walked away, into the crowd. People stared, whispered. Some looked sympathetic, others looked entertained. Small-town drama was better than cable TV. I found Tina near the craft vendors, talking urgently on her phone. She saw me and her face went pale. Ed, Save it, Tina. I know you knew. I know everyone knew. You all thought it was funny watching the dumb contractor get played. That's not... How long? How long did you know? She looked around, desperate for escape. But people were watching now, listening. A few months. But Ed, I told her to stop. I told her it was wrong. Did you? Because your Facebook posts say different. All those jokes about Elle's new man and poor Ed. Real supportive friend there, Tina. Her face flushed red. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You're just as bad as she is. Maybe worse, because at least Lena had the guts to stab me in the front. You just smiled and pretended to be my friend. I walked away, leaving her stammering excuses to the growing crowd. The confrontation was attracting attention now. People followed me, sensing drama. This was better than the band, better than the food, better than anything else happening at the festival. I found Miles near the stage. He was with his work friends, trying to act normal, but his face was drawn and his eyes were red. He saw me coming and tensed. "Ed Turner," I said, loud enough for everyone around us to hear. "I don't think we've been properly introduced. I'm Lena's husband. You know, the clueless one you've been laughing about." His friends stepped back. The crowd grew larger. "Look, man, No, you look. You thought you were so smart, so clever. Sleeping with a married woman, mocking her husband, living your best life. How'd that work out?" "Ed, this isn't the place." "This is exactly the place. You wanted excitement. You wanted to feel powerful. How powerful do you feel now? Everyone knows what you are. Everyone's seen the photos. Your ex-wife's reopening your divorce. Your job's gone. Your reputation's destroyed. Was it worth it?" Miles's face twisted with rage. "You son of a witch. You set us up. The key. I pulled it out of my pocket, held it up for everyone to see. "This key? The one that actually works?" "Yeah." I swapped it. Funny thing about handcuffs, they're only fun until you can't get out. He lunged at me. Sloppy, emotional, stupid. I'd been in enough bar fights in my youth to know how to handle an angry amateur. I stepped aside, let his momentum carry him past me, then pushed him. Not hard, just enough to send him stumbling into a trash can. The crowd gasped. Someone laughed. Miles scrambled up, face red, fists clenched. "You're dead. You hear me? Dead." That sounds like a threat in front of all these witnesses. I looked around at the crowd, dozens of people with their phones out, recording. "Everyone hear that? He threatened to eliminate me." The young cop from last night appeared, pushing through the crowd. "That's enough. Both of you, break it up." "Officer," I said, calm and reasonable. "This man just threatened my life. I have witnesses. I want to file a report." Miles's face went from red to white. You said I was dead. That's a threat. A credible threat, given your violent behavior." I turned to the cop. "I'm concerned for my safety." The cop looked between us, clearly out of his depth. "Mr. Gannon, I'm going to need you to come with me." "This is BS. Sir, you need to calm down." As the cop led Miles away, I turned to the crowd. They were all watching, phones out, recording everything. This would be on social media in minutes. The whole town would see. "Show's over, folks. Enjoy the festival." But it wasn't over. Not quite. Lena showed up at my house that night. I'd been expecting her. Had the door unlocked, a beer open, sitting on the porch in the darkness. "Ed," her voice was small, broken. Nothing like the confident HR manager who'd left for Portland 2 weeks ago. "Lena, can we talk?" "Sure, talk." She sat on the steps, not looking at me. "I lost my job. They fired me today. Miles, too. Conflict of interest, they said. Inappropriate relationship, damage to company reputation. Sounds fair." "Fair? You destroyed my life." "No, you destroyed your life. I just made sure everyone could see it." She turned to face me, and in the porch light, I could see she'd been crying. "How long have you known?" "Long enough. Long enough to hear you call me clueless. Long enough to watch you plan 3 days with him while lying to my face. Long enough to be the joke of the town while you played house with your sales director." "I'm sorry." "No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. What do you want? You want me to beg? Fine. I'm begging. Please, Ed. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. There's nothing to fix. We're done. I want a divorce." She laughed, bitter and sharp. "With what evidence? Those photos? They're not admissible. Patricia broke into Miles's apartment. That's illegal. I don't need the photos. I have recordings, hours of them. You and Miles planning, laughing, having sex. All recorded on devices you didn't know about. All legal because they were in your car and your purse. Things you brought into shared spaces. My lawyer says it's solid." Her face went slack. "You recorded us?" "Everything, every conversation, every plan, every time you called me stupid or clueless or boring. Every time you laughed about how easy it was to fool me. I have it all, Lena. Every word." She stood up, shaking. "You fool. You manipulative fool. Funny coming from you. I'll fight this. I'll get a lawyer. You'll what? You have no job, no savings. You spend it all on hotels and gifts for Miles. No reputation, no friends. Tina won't return your calls, by the way. She's too busy doing damage control for her own reputation. This isn't fair." "Fair?" I stood up and she stepped back. "You want to talk about fair? Was it fair to cheat on me for months? Was it fair to spend our money on your affair? Was it fair to make me the laughingstock of this town? You want fair, Lena? Here's fair. You get nothing. The house is in my name. The truck is in my name. The business is mine. You get to walk away with your clothes and your car and your shame. That's fair. I'll take you to court. Go ahead. Bring the recordings to court. Let a judge hear you planning your affair, laughing at your husband, bragging about manipulating me. See how that works out for you. She started crying again. Real tears this time. Not the manipulative ones she'd used before. Ed, please, I made a mistake. I was stupid. But we had 10 years together. That has to count for something. It did count. It counted enough that I didn't do worse. I could have ruined you completely. I could have sent the explicit recordings to your family, your old employers, your professional network. I could have made sure you never worked in HR again, but I didn't. I just made sure everyone here knew the truth. That's mercy, Lena. That's me being generous. She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. I don't even know you anymore. You never did. You saw what you wanted to see. A boring, clueless contractor you could use for stability while you had fun on the side. You never saw me. Never knew what I was capable of. She wiped her eyes. What happens now? Now you leave. Pack your stuff tomorrow while I'm at work. Leave your key. My lawyer will send you the divorce papers. You can sign them or fight them, but either way, we're done. And Miles? Miles is Miles's problem. Last I heard, his ex-wife's got enough evidence to take him for everything he's got. Karma's a witch, and so is Patricia. Lena stood there for a long moment, and I could see her trying different approaches in her head. Anger. No, I was calm. Tears. No, I was unmoved. Seduction. No, that ship had sailed. Finally, she just nodded. I really am sorry, Ed, for what it's worth. It's worth nothing, but I appreciate the sentiment. She walked to her car, stopped, turned back. You know what the worst part is? I actually thought I loved him. Thought he was different, special, but he was just another cheater, and I was just another stupid woman who fell for it. That's the thing about affairs, Lena. They're built on lies and excitement. Take those away, and there's nothing left. You didn't love him. You loved the idea of him. The fantasy. Real love is boring. It's coming home to the same person every night. It's fixing the sink and watching TV and growing old together. You threw that away for handcuffs and hotel rooms. That's on you. She got in her car and drove away. I sat back down on the porch, finished my beer. Old man Sykes was on his porch across the street, smoking a cigarette, watching. She gone for good? He called over. Yeah, good. She was too loud anyway, always coming and going at weird hours. You knew. I'm old, not blind. Saw her meeting that guy downtown. Saw you following them. Figured you'd handle it your way. Why didn't you tell me? Wasn't my place. Man's got to find these things out himself. But I kept an eye on things. Made sure you had what you needed. The notes, the timing, that was you. Like I said, I'm old, not useless. He took a drag on his cigarette. You did good, kid. Handled it smart. Could have gone violent, but you didn't. Used your head instead. Respect. Thanks, Sykes. Don't thank me. Just don't let the next one walk all over you. You're a good man, Ed Turner. Don't forget that. He went inside. I sat on my porch looking at my house now, all mine, and felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. The divorce was final 6 months later. Lena didn't fight it. She'd moved 2 towns over, working as a receptionist at a dental office. Miles had moved back to Boston, apparently working in used car sales. Patricia had gotten her settlement, plus extra. The recordings had been very persuasive. I kept the house, kept the business, kept my dignity. The town stopped talking about it eventually. New scandals emerged. Life went on. Rich and Gina threw me a divorce party at Murphy's. Half the town showed up. Even old man Sykes came, nursed 1 beer, and told embarrassing stories about my teenage years. To Ed, Rich toasted. The smartest dumb contractor I know. To Ed, everyone echoed. I raised my glass. To second chances, and to never ignoring your gut. We drank. The band played. Life went on. 3 months later, I met Sarah at a hardware store. She was buying paint for her kitchen, couldn't decide between 2 shades of blue. I helped her pick. We talked about colors, then houses, then life. She was divorced too, knew what betrayal felt like, knew the value of honesty. We took it slow. No games, no lies. Just 2 people who'd been burned, trying to build something real from the ashes. On our 6th date, she asked about Lena. I told her the truth, all of it. The affair, the handcuffs, the revenge, everything. That's either the smartest or the craziest thing I've ever heard, she said. Maybe both. Are you over it? Over her? I thought about it, really thought about it. Yeah, I am. She taught me what I don't want. Now I'm looking for what I do want. And what's that? Someone honest, someone real, someone who doesn't need handcuffs to feel alive. Sarah laughed. I can work with that. We're taking it day by day. No rush, no pressure. Just two people building something honest and real. The house is quieter now, cleaner. Mine. I fixed the porch, painted the shutters, renovated the kitchen. Every improvement erases a little more of Lena, replaces her with something better. Old man Sykes still watches from across the street, still nods when I come home, still keeps an eye on things. New girlfriend's better than the last one, he said last week. Yeah, she is. Don't screw it up. I'll try not to. Good, now help me fix my fence. Damn thing's falling apart. I helped him fix his fence. Because that's what neighbors do. That's what decent people do. And I'm done being the fool, done being the joke, done being clueless. I'm just Ed Turner. Contractor, survivor. Man who learned that revenge is a dish best served cold, calculated, and with plenty of witnesses. The handcuff key is still in my workshop, hanging on my keychain. A reminder, a trophy, a symbol. Sometimes the best revenge isn't violence or destruction. Sometimes it's just making sure everyone sees the truth. And the truth set me free.